Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, March 6th, 2020. This is 2020.
This is 2020. Commissioner Garcia, James, and Caloza are present. President James, you do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning. Sherrod Nichols, Streets LA.
Good morning, Eddie Chavez, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning. George Espindola, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Hisang Kim, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Maria Martin, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we did receive 2 speaker cards under general public comment. We have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We also received a speaker card on item number 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then also on item number 1, we did receive 2 emails that came in that will be distributed to all commissioners.
Okay, let's take care of, and I'll need your assistance on this, Dr. Campos, the agenda item number 1. There's been a request by stakeholders to continue the item, which I agree with. And so we worked through emails with Mr. Banuelos, and who's here, and the applicant. And the initial date that we had proposed was March 27th, I think. That was not agreed to, but the applicant did propose an April date, Dr. Campos, that was okay. What's the April date?
It would be Friday, April the 3rd.
Friday, April the 3rd. And that's okay, Mr. Banuelos, with the Bureau and with the applicant? Okay, then we will continue the item to Friday, April 3rd, 2020 on agenda item number 1, and we'll take the public hearing at that time. Agenda item number 3 is an authority for expenditure for the State Water Resources Control Board. Sanitation and Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $42,219 to pay for annual fees for wastewater discharge. Mr. Tan.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Vincent San of the Clean Water North Conveyance Division. I'm here today to ask the boards for approval and execution of a authorization for expenditure in an amount of $42,219. This is for the renewal of our wastewater discharge requirement permit. This is for us to maintain and operate the 3 of our collection systems, namely Hyperion, Terminal Island, LA County Sanitation. This permit is for this fiscal year, and it had a 14% increase than last year's fees.
Thank you. Any questions at all on agenda item number 3? I don't have any questions. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Thank you, sir. Any issues sending number 3 forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Agenda item number 5 is a stop payment notice. LA Boring and Electrical Incorporated is transmitting a stop payment notice in the amount of $341,500 for furnishing electrical services in connection with the West Side Unit 1 series to multiple high voltage conversion project. The primary contractor for the project is Servitech Solutions. Is there a second to my motion that we receive agenda item number 5 forthwith? By Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Agenda item number 2, actually let's take number 6. A stop payment notice again, LA Boring and Electrical Incorporated, transmitting a stop payment notice in the amount of $172,265.48 for furnishing electrical services in connection with the West Los Angeles Playa del Rey series to multiple high voltage conversion project. The primary contractor is Servitech Solutions. Mr. Herman on number 6.
Less troubling is the fact that this stop payment, and the language repeats, you will know what the hit. You will know what will hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. Now let us not construe what we're hearing today, because if Armando Herman, for the record, can do such an evil decision of stop payment, he probably would. But you fucking niggers keep stop payments from people who need to be paid to do their job. 172,265 and 48 fucking cents, James. Stop fucking with these bitches and listen. You have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price. Now what the fuck is Schumer talking about here? That fucking arrogant piece of shit Democrat. He's the same fucking asshole like Mike Davis, for the record, who's not here, as Kevin James continues to speak to Ms. Garcia. You know, no one wants to listen to wetbacks anymore because wetbacks have their own conversation and their own hidden agenda. So the primary contractor of this project in Services and Solutions, INC, should tell the city of Los Angeles politely, and I'll do it in his favor and support, fuck you. Release the check. I demand that you pay this company for your errors and mistakes and your conduct, because your conduct reflects a pattern and practice to abuse fucking businesses, because you always cheat the lowest bidder and the highest bidder, you fucking white niggers.
So on agenda item number 6, is there a second to my motion that we approve number 6, that we receive number 6 forthwith? By Commissioner Caloza. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Agenda item number 2, a contract acceptance, Council Districts 2, 8, and 14, construction order for sidewalk repair program, package number 38. Recommending that the board accept the construction order on number 2, Mr. Herman.
Item number 2.
Oh yeah. Sidewalk repair program. Well, I just had a conversation with David Simon from the Department of DOD. Those threatening statements from Jose Huizar, that fucking wetback from Zacatecas, and his fucking retarded son, regarding the acceptance and construction for ADA Access Services, a contract through fucking Cisco. Well, I don't want Cisco. I want the acronym CUNT. C-U-N-T, for bitches who will accept this construction order, follow the ADA 2010 standard, and stop fucking not providing curbs and ramps for ADA access. The history of Los Angeles is Willis versus Los Angeles, where fucking white nigger politicians continue to abuse the public, especially elderly and the disabled, for not providing adequate business-friendly access. So as I said, less troubling, you will know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. Well, fuck you, Mr. Schumer. Fuck Congress. Donald Trump, fuck Mr. Schumer, and all those in the justice system. Stop these fucking Democrats for talking shit and ranting about shit they don't know what the fuck they're doing, especially when it comes to the contracts of acceptance. Sidewalks, Willis versus Los Angeles, James, you haven't done shit. So I'm gonna get the streets fixed off of 500 West Temple Street, and watch how I do it. Watch how I do it, because I can do it. Federal Highway Administration, fuck Kevin James, for the record. Thank you.
Mr. Espindola.
Thank you. Good morning. George Spindola with the Bureau of Contract Administration. The sidewalk repair package number 38 was awarded to PPC Construction on May 23, 2018, in the amount of $504,524, with a contingency amount of $100,504 with 80 cents, totaling $603 with $28.80. Notice to proceed was issued on June 7, 2018. This project is part of the joint report by the Bureau of Engineering and Bureau of Contract Administration, which established a program authorizing the city to enter into a contract with the on-call contractors to perform emergency geotechnical structures construction services, which was awarded by your board on February 28, 2014. This project provided for the repairs of damaged sidewalks adjacent to city facilities. 8 deductive change orders were issued totaling $23,658 with 97 cents, decreasing the total amount of this project to $478,865 with 3 cents. Final corrections were completed on July 3, 2019. Funding was through Fund 207, Department 94, Department of Transportation, Local Transportation Fund. There are no unresolved property complaints or disputed funds.
Any questions at all on agenda item number 2? That was a motion from Commissioner Caloza on number 2. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We will send number 2 forthwith. Agenda item number 4, our Arbor Day resolution, recommending that the board first adopt the accompanying resolution to recognize March 7th, 2020, it's tomorrow, as Arbor Day and the city's honor as a Tree City USA, and continue to promote tree planting and maintenance, which enhances the quality of life in our communities. Mr. Sachs, you have in a card on number 4. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Yeah, I just wanted to say would like to know that the city is doing a better job to plant trees, but I'd also like people to know, and unfortunately I looked at it too late, but in the City of Los Angeles Neighborhood Services book, which you can get maybe and you can check online, there's a part in here that mentions that the city, one of the departments, and I'm not exactly sure, maybe somebody here with a little bit more knowledge would know, it was in this book, provides free trees to people as long as they maintain them for 3 years. So if you want to plant some trees, you can get them for free. If you check maybe with your city council office, it's in the book called City of Los Angeles, Neighborhood Services. And I don't remember which department it is. Could be connected to the Department of Public Works, but you can get free trees as long as you water them and maintain them for 3 years, which pretty much is, you snap your fingers and that's 3 years. But we'd like to see that the program that Mayor Villaraigosa wanted to do, where he said 10,000 trees, was somewhat, we get an update on where we are with that program, or where you are with that program, because a lot of times trees are taken down for new construction, and maybe there ought to, some people might consider a moratorium on some of the construction going on and instead do some rehabilitation to some of the buildings around the city and use them, reuse and recycle. That's what you can do with some buildings. And with all the new techniques and all the new ways of building around now, it's not necessarily the most prudent thing
2 minutes.
to take buildings down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Mr. Herman on number 4.
We all know ex-Mayor Villaraigosa. We've heard of the multiple promises of 100 million trees planted in the city of Los Angeles since his time of tenure, and now 1 motherfucking million trees planted to this day. What a stupid fuck nigger wetback like that promising people like us in our community. How dare you? Case number 09-50529 for the record. Bagdasarian versus United States, Pasadena. Terry Tornek. Shoot the nig country. Fuck this fucking tree planting. He will have a 50 cal. What nig has done anything right long term? So you heard it. Arnold Sachs, a veteran in these issues, has explained to you why. But I'm giving you the definition why. Because Viragosa is a fucking stupid wetback like Jose Huizar, who brought the FBI. And as long as there is homosexuality in this city regarding trees where bitches and cunts fuck, I'll tell you something. God hates homosexuality. And as much as I hate treason against my president, 45, 50 cal, Donald Trump, I support trees. We will plant so many fucking trees that those hungry fucking Asians and those motherfuckers from the East, Israeli Jew motherfuckers, are gonna beg us to send them trees. Because they don't have shit. Welcome, Davis, you're late. And next time you're late, don't even show up. This is a job of responsibility, and integrity. So like I said, God bless Trump, fuck Schumer.
So on number 4, Ms. Clements and Ms. Malrich, I see both here.
Good morning, Stephanie Clements, Assistant Director. Oh, are you right here? Okay, cool. Hector, you want to come up too? Hi. On behalf of Streets
Good
LA,
morning.
Good morning. Thank you for this honor and for recognizing the amazing work our urban forestry crews are doing every day. I know you know that Streets LA has a special place in our heart for our city trees, and we're performing amazing work to enhance our urban forests in the areas of tree planting, watering, pruning, dead tree removal, sidewalk meandering at times, and our new tree inventory, which we're so excited about. We are grateful for all the resources provided to us over the last few years and look forward to continuing those resources into the future. Thank you.
So, Rachel Malrich, City Forest Officer. I want to share a little bit about tomorrow's event, which we're really excited about, our celebration of Arbor Day, which coincides with the state's Arbor Week. A lot of people are saying, why aren't you waiting for Earth Day? We're going with Arbor Week, and how cool to live in a state that has a whole week for trees. I just want to acknowledge the different partners. Obviously, this is a great celebration. We're celebrating 30 years of being a Tree City USA. Tim Tyson has a fantastic plaque in his office that you should all see at some point. But this has been an example of true city collaboration. We have LA Sanitation and Environment that has gotten funding through CAL FIRE for concrete cuts for the trees being planted tomorrow. Urban Forestry Division will be watering these trees for the next 3 years as a match for that grant. Recreation and Parks has also gotten a CAL FIRE grant for their inventory and is planting trees in the park. So a total of 350 trees are going to be planted tomorrow, and we have over 1,200 volunteers already signed up to come down to Wilmington in Council District 15 and support the event. I would be remiss if I didn't mention our nonprofit partners, LA Conservation Corps, Tree People, Koreatown Youth and Community Center, LA Beautification Team, and Northeast Trees that will also be supporting the event. And I'm going to just check my notes, make sure I didn't forget anyone else, because it is such a big party. I'll also add that this is our first time. City Plants has really been working to make this as close to a zero waste event as possible. We're not there yet, but we are so grateful for the support LA Sanitation has provided us in preparing for doing as much as we can this year. And I'm really here on behalf of Rachel Leary and the City Plants team because they're out getting ready for tomorrow. So thank you.
Ms. Malrich, just one question, and just for my information as well as the information of others that may be listening in, including various council offices that do. Tomorrow morning, the start time and maybe the address in Wilmington where the event is?
So we're going to be at Banning Museum tomorrow morning. There's a couple satellite locations for parking, but we will be at 401 East M Street in Wilmington. That's 90744. We're starting registration for those volunteers around 8:30. There will be some breakfast goodies. We're going to have lunch provided by a local vendor after the event. We even have shuttles because with so many trees, not all of them are going to be right there at the location. So it's going to be a huge party. We will have some speaking from some of our state officials and local folks starting around 9:30 with the demonstration, and then we'll be getting to it in the parks and streets in Wilmington.
Okay, is there a start time that people can arrive, recognizing that the program's at 9:30? Does it start at 8:30 or 9? Or?
So 8:30 is when we ask people to register, so we can make sure that they're all signed in with their waivers, they've got a wristband, they've got their cup of coffee, and there's also a resource fair. So once you're there, there's also going to be a number of different vendors and different educational opportunities for the community. You also, I knew I was going to forget somebody, LA Department of Water and Power is not only providing the street trees, but they're also providing distribution trees. We're going to be distributing trees that people can take home, 5-gallon trees that you can carry to take home and plant it if you're an LA resident.
Great, thank you.
And Leafy's going to be there,
Yeah,
yeah?
you can't see this if you're listening in, but we've got on our flyer, we've got Leafy, who will be there, probably wearing his Dodgers hat and ready to plant.
Well, we see him occasionally. He was at the tree summit as well. Mr. Banuelos.
Yes, good morning. I would like to also add that the City of LA, the Streets of LA, is celebrating its 30th year as a Tree City USA. So we've been at it for 30 years, and we're going to keep at it. And we're not just planting trees, we're growing trees, right? We're continuing to water the trees, and we're just seeing them grow. We're looking forward to having these trees grow and mature, hopefully by the Olympics when they come in 2028. Right? So,
1990. Hard to believe that's 30 years. That's therein lieth the problem. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Veronica, will you wait 1 second? On this resolution, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4, seconded by all of my colleagues, so that'll take care of number 4. Any issue sending number 4 forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith. Agenda item, there's been a request by the Bureau of Sanitation to continue agenda item number. Ms. Maxwell, would you wait just 1 moment? Thank you. There's been a request to continue agenda item number 7 to March 27th, 2020. Is that correct, Dr. Campos?
That is correct. We are requesting a 2-week continuation.
Okay, so without objection, that'll be the order on number 7. Number 8 is our update on our upcoming street improvement projects from Streets LA. Mr. Sachs, you have a card in on number 8. And if I'm sorry, Ms. Clements, if you all could wait a few minutes as well, we want to do a photo with you, but since it's an agenda item, we'll take care of number 8, then we'll do that. It's our last agenda item. Go ahead. You can hear the report first. Mr. Herman, do you want to hear the report first or speak first?
I speak.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
You know, motherfucker, you know, streets. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, item 8, right? Yeah, status bitch specialize on call maintenance. You know, tomorrow marathon, fucking niggas run 26 fucking miles. Maintenance services fucked up. I surprised, nigga, you clean around City Hall this morning when I was walking at 6 a.m. Very surprised. What white politician also do shit like that? Leave the ghetto alone. We like eyesores. You allow homeless people to sleep on nigger sidewalk, just like you do with Sentinel newspaper. Fucking niggers. All you do is fuck up our community. On-call maintenance means you do it every day. I call you every day, 311, and nigga no show up. No, marathon here tomorrow, you motherfucker. Walk, walk, walk. How dare you bring shame to this country, built by the blood of the American veteran who supports Donald Trump and that jackass son of a bitch, pencil neck motherfucking asshole bastard, Mr. Schromer. What's wrong with you? Making threats to the judges of the Supreme Court? Are you fucking out of your mind? Now you're gonna pay the price. Get the fuck out of politics is my answer. Get the fuck out of maintenance. Get the fuck out of your stupidity. How dare you bring treason to the maintenance and the cooperation of the corporate greed of Los Angeles. Fix our fucking sidewalk and streets. Clean our fucking sidewalk and streets. And all because you let those fucking illegal wetbacks vend on our streets, our businesses are going to hell. 42 U.S.C. 1983. Fuck you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Duncan.
Good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney, and Executive Secretary. I'm James Duncan, Superintendent from Streets LA, Pavement Preservation and Streets Renewal Division. In order to keep the public informed on the upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize impact to the community as well as delays to the commuters, Streets LA would like to provide you with an update on all major upcoming street improvement projects. The following projects are scheduled in the Metro resurfacing region. On Saturday, March 14th, 2020, and Sunday, March 15th, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we will profile and pave Main Street from Washington Boulevard to Adams Boulevard in Council District 9. Downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council, utilizing funding from our pavement preservation program. The following week, on Saturday, March 21st, and Sunday, March 22nd, 2020, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we will profile and pave Huntington Drive, North Roadway, from Van Horn Avenue to Pueblo Avenue in Council District 14, within the East Los Angeles Neighborhood Council, utilizing funding from the Pavement Preservation Program. And the following projects are scheduled in the Valley Resurfacing Region. On Saturday, March 14th, 2020, and Sunday, March 15th, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. We will profile and pave Balboa Boulevard from Bassett Street at Woodley Avenue to Pine Ridge Drive. This is in Council District 12, within the Granada Hills Neighborhood Council, again utilizing funding from the Pavement Preservation Program. And on Saturday, March 21st, and Sunday, March 22nd, 2020, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we will pave Balboa Boulevard from Pine Ridge Drive to Lower Large Street, again in Council District 12, within the Neighborhood Council of Granada Hills North. The press releases were broadcasted and notifications have been issued. Streets LA has coordinated with the Council District offices to assist with the outreach to stakeholders, and we have coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. For additional information or concerns, please contact Nick Berrigan at 213-847-3200. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Any questions, sir, regarding the street closures from Mr. Duncan? Thank you, sir. Agenda item number 8, you wanted to hear the report, Mr. Sachs? You're up.
Yes, thank you again. And it was a very informative report. A couple things. Downtown LA. In 2008, City Councilman, I think it was Weezar, proposed a streetcar in Broadway. It's 12 years later, 2 sales tax measures later, not one stinking thing has been done on Broadway as far as this streetcar. As a matter of fact, they're thinking about now turning Broadway into a walk street. So where'd the money go? Point 2, the gentleman mentioned LADOT. I went to a meeting last week at Metro, and they were discussing transit-oriented development. And it's fascinating. Had tons of data. Data for this, data for that, data. So they're going to take this data and present it to the public because it's data they collected on the public. We're going to present it to the public and say, is this right? And of course it'll be right because it's data they collected from the public. So I asked the gentleman making the presentation, do they have data from the people who live in the transit-oriented developments around the rail stations about what transit they use, like bus or rail? And he said no. So how can you have people living in transit-oriented development and not know if they use bus or rail? Plus, I also asked this question, because it's part of a next-gen bus study. How long does Metro consider a generation? Metro considers a generation 10 years. Well, 10 years go by in a blink of an eye. So you use that kind of information and you say, well, you know what? If they do a sequel report and you have people living in a development for 30 years, according to Metro, that's 3 generations. So all you got to do is go, Judge, 3 generations have passed and they've never updated CEQA. That's the part you learn about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. The oral report has been received. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the meeting of Friday, February 28th, 2020? By Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, those meeting minutes will be approved. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Mr. President, this takes you back to public comments.
Oh, thank you. Before we do that...
And then we'll clear the desk.
Yes, thank you. Before we do that, we'll take a brief recess to go back to number 4 for a quick photo on the Arbor Day, and then we'll wrap up the meeting after that. Thank you, everyone. Right back on our agenda this morning. General public comment. Mr. Herman, we had your card first.
Fellow Americans, such threatening statements made by one and only Mr. Schumer against the highest courts in the United States of America. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. Now, I find that a threat when an educated asshole in government makes such a threat. But yet the city of Los Angeles has placed me on 3 TROs, claiming that my free speech is not welcome because it's robust, venomous, and it exercises my right, civil rights, my California constitutional right to say what I say about Kevin James and this horseshoe of lying bitches. You know, it's one thing to represent this city, this state, but like that bitch Nancy Pelosi and that fucking faggot Gavin Newsom, you don't do shit right. And so that's the reason why I'm here to criticize every day, every committee, every commission, and every hearing in a agendaized item. It's not hate speech, it's I hate what you do with corruption. I hate what you do when you're stealing state and federal dollars, double dipping, double padding, all these contracts. So the FBI, if you're listening, you need to investigate CALOZA Jessica and that of Garcia, because I believe bitches like to steal as much as men dicks like to suck Eric Garcetti's big fat cock.
Mr. Sachs, please.
Thanks for letting me follow. I appreciate the hell out of that. It has to happen. I get it. So, quick announcement. On Sunday, I think on the last mile, I think that's when the marathon is, I'm going to be walking for Dee Dee Hirsch Suicide Prevention, the last mile of the marathon. It's honoring a county angel, somebody who worked for LA County. She lost her son to suicide unexpectedly. So, but she was really important in the county hall of administration. She did wonderful stuff there, and it really affected her terribly. That being said, I see this announcement for the Arbor Day celebration, and I bring up this book for City of Los Angeles. You know, they should do this in Spanish also. They don't do a copy in Spanish, I don't believe, but it would be a good idea to maybe have somebody check into making a copy of this in Spanish, maybe even one in Korean, and maybe even one in Chinese. Some of the major languages, you don't have to do one for every, depending on your council district, and depending on the population, major population you serve, but you should have some copies available in several different languages, just like voter registration. There's a lot of information in here, and you don't get that from the city council, and you don't get that unless you ask questions. You really have to ask questions, and if you get this book and you read some of the things that go on in here, it'll give you an idea of some programs that you don't even know exist because they're subsets of programs that do exist. And that's the subset part. So it pays to ask a lot of questions, and it pays to go to a lot of meetings, because that's where you learn to ask questions, and that's where you learn a lot of information. Sometimes what's not said is even more important than what is said. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Sachs. Dr. Kappas, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Then we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend.